In an earlier video, we saw how market size share grids can be used to identify the areas that need action. Also, we saw how we can prioritize amongst these areas of action. Please use the link given below to see the video on how to create market size share grids for your products sold in different territories. A sales performance gap manifests itself either as a sales volume shortfall, or as a market share shortfall, or as a combination of both. For the sake of simplicity, we will start by analyzing the sales volume and market share shortfalls separately. Before we start with performance analysis, let us briefly recall the marketing mix. Here we shall use the 6P framework. These being product, price, promotion, place, processes, and people. When a market player is unable to reach the sales target, use the 6Ps framework to ask the following questions and get the analysis started. The above questions need to be answered, keeping in mind customer needs, the industry that satisfies these needs, and the competitors that operate within the industry. Our analysis approach starts by identifying the element responsible for the sales performance gap. This is followed by a validation. This may be in the form of a test, a survey, or analysis to confirm that the marketing mix element identified is indeed responsible for the sales performance gap. Depending on whether the outcome of the validation is favorable or not, follow-on actions need to be planned. The follow-on actions will be in line with the organization's processes and structure. We will put the 6Ps framework in context by using the construction equipment industry as an example. The construction equipment industry manufactures products like excavators, backhoe loaders, wheel loaders and dumpers. These products are used by customers who work in the mining and construction business. Customers generate revenue by using these machines in their own mining and construction business, or by offering them on rent to other customers who are engaged in similar business. Construction equipment deliver output in terms of tons or cubic meters of material dug, loaded or transported per hour. Machines consume a significant amount of fuel and are expensive to maintain for each hour of their operation. Equipment is generally financed by financial institutions due to their high initial capital cost, which can range between thousands to millions of dollars apiece. The financial and operating costs are factored in by customers when calculating their profits. These machines can be feeding a power station with coal, a cement plant with limestone, or run a dam construction site. Their failure leads to stoppage of these activities, resulting in significant losses. Therefore, the after-sales support of these machines is critical. Globally, construction equipment is sold through a dealer network. Manufacturers ensure that their dealers have adequate number of duly trained personnel, stock of machines, spare parts and processes to serve their customers. Customers in this industry are relatively fewer in number as compared to other industries like automobiles. But generating awareness about new products, services and generating sales leads is a very significant task for all manufacturers in this highly competitive industry. With this brief overview of the construction equipment industry, let us see how a market performance analysis can be carried out. Let us start with the product element of the marketing mix. Product attributes important to customers and their interpretation in context of the construction equipment industry have been shown. Validation methods establish if a given product attribute is indeed responsible for the sales performance gap. The follow-on actions flow out of the outcomes of the validation method. It is important to execute follow-on actions, both for favorable and unfavorable outcomes of the validation method. Remember, if we change the industry, the product attributes, their interpretation, the validation methods and follow-on actions shall all change. The performance gap analysis for the product element and all the other elements that follow is only representative. Practitioners will benefit immensely by carrying out an in-depth analysis specific to their product and industry. In the price element of the marketing mix, we include all commercial aspects related to our offering. The price element has a direct impact on the organization's profitability and positioning of the product in the customer's mind. But, for now we are doing this analysis from the point of view of the customer, who makes the purchase decision. Price attributes shall change with the nature of the offering. Promotion may be used to generate awareness, influence customer disposition, and generate sales leads. Further, promotions are a combination of digital and physical activities. The activities and their outcomes would need to be assessed in the context of the industry, and this shall decide the validation method. With the advent of e-commerce, this element of the marketing mix has undergone profound changes. Distribution typically involves working with external partners like dealers and e-commerce portals. Therefore, it calls for substantive monitoring and engagement with these partners to attain desired market performance. As multiple products may be distributed through a common distribution channel, issues here will result in impact on one or more of the offerings. The process element of the marketing mix is an all-encompassing element for the organization. Processes sustain business and drive growth. Organizations need to identify the processes that are critical to maintaining their competitive edge. The construction equipment industry depends upon products that can dig, load and haul more material while consuming lesser fuel and have lower maintenance cost. Thus making successively more efficient products, in shorter time frames, is a priority for this industry. All processes will have a direct or indirect impact on sales performance. But for simplicity, we can start by reviewing the processes that directly touch the customer. Key examples of such processes are customer acquisition, sales fulfillment, post-sale support, relationship building and retention, feedback collection and actioning. While none of these processes can be ignored, metrics of process performance and prioritization for their improvement is required. Take a look at two representative examples of how market performance can be traced back to customer-facing processes and their metrics. Monitoring these metrics and targeting for their improvement will result in improved sales performance. Our approach to assessing the people element of the marketing mix is similar to assessing processes in general. However, people being unique individuals, sales performance needs to be viewed through the people-processes lens. Here are some examples of how market performance can be traced back to people processes and their metrics. It is important to remember that people processes impact market performance across all offerings of the organization. More importantly, people are the drivers and followers of all organizational processes, which is why they need special attention. It may so happen that sales volume target may be achieved, but still fall short of the market share target. This is a case of market expansion. This may happen on account of newer geographies or applications opening up for the offering. Tracking market expansion requires constant scanning of existing applications and new unrelated applications for the offerings. The use of construction equipment in plantations and for agricultural purposes is a prime example of a new application. Let us see how we can deploy market analysis using the framework we have discussed so far. The sales function is assessed for its performance by district, state or country. Sales personnel can start by assessing their performance using the market size share grid. This will identify the offerings that need attention and the priority of attention. Next, the salesperson can attribute the reasons for lower than target performance using the 6 Ps framework backed by a validation method. Based on business experience, issues typically faced, validation methods and corrective processes may be already in place. If not, then they can be built in anticipation. To have effective validation processes, their measures and other databases need to be maintained and made accessible. Examples of processes are sales pipeline management and promotional activity management. Similarly, database examples being competition pricing and competitive product performance. Once a validation has been done, in favor or against the issue, an appropriate organizational process can take over to handle the issue. The 6P analysis is built on competitive comparisons to identify issues and validations. However, organizational strategy shall be in the driving seat, especially when starting out new in the market, or creating a market. The attributes of the 6Ps may then be defined as a complete breakaway from the current norm. This calls for a very high degree of visualization on part of the organization. Regional market size share grids and their 6P analysis can be aggregated to create a detailed bottom-up analysis. This analysis can be used to drive organization-wide improvements. The effectiveness of improvement processes can be assessed by comparing the improvement in market performance. A few things to help deploy the analysis framework well. Start by listing down industry-specific attributes for each of the 6Ps in detail. Next, look at a validation method that assesses relative performance on each attribute. The validation method may or may not be in current use. If it is not being used today, then it serves as a prompt for using it in the future. The outcomes of validation methods shall be in the form of marketing and other organizational databases. Depending upon the issues faced, organizations have processes to address them. It is common experience that most 6P-related issues are repetitive in nature. Therefore, the key lies in connecting attributes, issues, validation methods and outcomes to processes and their monitoring. This tight integration can be best achieved using an IT platform. Further, an IT platform helps consolidation of issues by organizational processes and functions. Thank you for your time and patience. If you have found this video useful, please do like it, share and comment on it. Take care and bye for now.